So really quick, guys, I just wanted to tell the story of what happened to me prior to going into nursing school. So this is a bit of a heavy story. It's been a couple years now, but this is what really, to answer some of the questions under my comments under the YouTube video, this is what really motivated me. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Novice Nurse. I'm back again with another video. I'm so excited. As promised, today we'll be talking about why I chose nursing school, and in particular, why I chose the Concorde nursing program, and then a little bit about my background and what led me to nursing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's gonna be like a story time. I'll give you a little bit of background on where I started and where I am now. So I started off school, so back up a little bit more. So I graduated from Lee High School. Shout out to all my Lee grads. I graduated class of 16. And while I was there, I did what's called the early college program. So basically that's where you would complete both your high school diploma and your AA degree all in once. So I did that. Basically it means you would do 2 years of high school classes, and then your other 2 years you would be on the local Florida State College, Jacksonville campus, where you would complete your requirements for your AA, and then some of your AA classes that you would take would also fulfill the rest of your high school credits, because of course you can't fulfill 24 high school diploma credits in just 2 years of school. So whatever classes you would take at the college would help fulfill those credits for your diploma as well. So I finished that in in 2016. Still was really undecisive what I wanted to do. I remember when I had my my first initial academic planning meeting with my advisors to talk about what I would want my credits for my AA degree to be geared towards for my bachelor's. I remember we had this long conversation. Like, you know what? I still think I want to be a nurse. So I took the college credits at FSCJ to push me towards a chemistry degree. But at the same time, a lot of the courses I took, like A&P 1 and 2, statistics, nutrition, all of those are really good classes to take to get into nursing school. They're actually required, and they're not just really good, they're required. So I had all those done as well. So I could have went either way. It wasn't like I was stuck in one versus the other. It was just me not knowing how, or not having my mind made up on what I wanted to do. So I got to UNF, I did the whole tour thing, and at UNF that summer, it was basically you take the tour and then you meet with your advisor, because at that point you're already a student. I had already got my acceptance letter, I had already got my scholarship. All I needed to do was tour the campus and do like this big welcome to campus thing, and they would have the advisors waiting there after you're done with the tour. It was a really cool, I love the experience there. UNF is a beautiful school, and it's a really good bang for your buck. So keep that in mind. So I got to my advisor, and the whole time they were talking about the nursing. Oh yeah, the nursing is our flagship program. I'm like, hey, I'm in the right place. I'm gonna do nursing. Whoop, whoop. So then I get into my advisor meeting, and something came over me, because my original plan was I would go to nursing school, get my BSN, then I wanted to be a CRNA, so certified registered nurse. I say anesthetist. Some people say anesthetist. I don't feel like I say it right when I say that, so I say anesthetist. Either way, a CRNA. So I was going to get my BSN and then get my DNP to become a CRNA. So I think I was talking to someone, and they were like, well, if you're going to do that, you might as well just go all the way through and become a medical doctor. Knowing that I had already done my research, and I knew that the nursing side was more appealing to me because it was more hands-on. Usually the CRNAs are the one actually administering the drugs. The doctors are really only there to oversee you and to do assessments on the patient when they're going under the anesthesia, just to make sure vital signs are correct, making sure they're not having any adverse reactions to the drugs after the nurse has administered. So I had already known that I wanted to do all the hands-on stuff. I didn't want to really didn't really care about being the big guy, the big leader, the big overseer like the doctors were. But somehow I let somebody talk me into being a chemistry major to go to medical school. So this whole time I'm on the tour and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a nurse. Yeah, shout out to Eric, I'm about to be a nurse. Why I told my advisor I wanted to be a chemistry major. Y'all, still to this day, I don't know why I told this lady that. Because when she started spitting those classes out at me, oh yeah, you gotta take this, and that. It's gonna be very tough. And then with your scholarship, you gotta have 15 plus credit hours to keep your scholarship. 12 credits is already enough for I won't say an easy major, but just for any major, I'll say it like that. But when you add in chemistry, physics, and all those majors are very difficult, I feel like. And 15 credits for a chemistry major, my first year, even though I had already had college credits, still, FSCJ's rigor doesn't amount to UNF's rigor, I'm sorry. So I still was gonna be that new kid in the freshman classes, like, what is going on here? What are these professors talking about? So I signed up for, I think my first semester, I took 17 credit hours, y'all. 17. I still don't know to this day why I did that to myself, but I did it. Whatever. So, long story short, I stayed at UNF as a chemistry major for a year, let's put it like that. Then I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not interested anymore. I found my learning and my studying not to be motivated because I didn't really like what I was learning anymore. I knew from the get-go that I didn't want to be a doctor, but I got caught up in all the, oh yeah, if you're gonna be a CRNA, you might as well go all the way. And it's like, yeah, they're similar, but they're not the same thing. The practice is different. So I changed my major the first time. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. I don't want to do this no more. So I changed it to public health. And when I changed it to public health, or I think I changed it back to, let's rewind. So I changed it so that I could get back on course to go to nursing school. So at UNF, you can't be a nursing major until you're in the program. So you have to do something like public health or health sciences or something like that. So that's what I changed it back to. And so at that time, because I already came in with 66 credits with my whole AA degree, it was time for me to graduate soon, or at least matriculate into the nursing program or transfer out to another nursing program. So spring 2018, I pledged A5A, and I was supposed to leave. Like spring 18, I pledged. Spring 18, I was also supposed to make up my mind, okay, are you gonna advance into the nursing program or transfer out? It was looking like I was gonna have to transfer out, which I'll get to later. But I was like, I just pledged. I got my letters finally. I want to stay on campus. I want to help the chapter out. So I stayed on campus for another year, or like a semester and a half, I guess. Even though I was supposed to already be gone because I had so many credits and I had taken so many classes already. So I extended my degree plan out to basically take a bunch of credits that I technically didn't need, just so I can stay on campus and enjoy my experience. So that fall semester, I stayed on campus. And in the back of my mind, I already knew I'm really just wasting my time here. That last semester, fall 18, that last semester just was basically a waste of my time. Why? Because I already had all my credits except for one. I had taken all of my nursing prereqs except for one. Only thing I still needed was microbiology. Everything else was basically a waste of time. At that time, I was a public health major. And at UNF, once you pass the 90 credit mark, you can't change your major. So I changed it after they had geared me back towards nursing as a courtesy. They did it as a courtesy for me because I had already passed the 90 credits. I came in with 66. So, and taking all those 17 credit hours a semester, it's gonna get you to 90 really fast. So spring 18 came and I was already at, I think 94, 95, somewhere up in there. When I pushed it out to fall 18, I had over 100. And when I went back and I finally made up my mind, okay, I wanted to be a nurse and I wanted to try to do it in the nursing program, they basically like, nah, can't do that, doc. So I think when I left, a lot of people thought that, oh, he must have didn't make the grades to get into nursing school, or he flunked out or something like that. Wasn't the case at all. It was what it was. So when I went to my advisor the last time, going in, I kind of knew something was going to be off just because I was looking at my transcripts and the grades were good, but I kept changing my mind too many times. That's why I always tell people you kind of need to know what you're going to do, especially for students like me and my classmates who did the early college program. It pushes you so fast. We all came out of school with 60 plus credits and a whole AA degree. So when we're going into our next post-secondary education, we're coming in already like third year students, basically. We're coming in as juniors because we have so many credits. So theoretically, I was supposed to graduate 2018 with a bachelor's degree of whatever it was going to be. And so basically UNF it was an experience where it opened my eyes to let me know what I wanted to do, but it also kind of messed me up a little bit, because if I'd known that I wanted to be a nurse, I could have already been a nurse. Could have already had my bachelor's and everything like that. Could have already been practicing in the field. But because I was so indecisive, I was like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. So I went to my advisor's meeting. She was like, yeah, we made the exception one time. We can't make it. If I would have stayed there and finished my public health science degree, which that was an option. They gave me that option. I could have stayed there, finished my public health science degree. Because my credits were all over the place, because I could never make up my mind what I wanted to do, I would have had to stay there another semester or two. I had to stay there another year, basically, another 2 semesters. I was like, nah. So when I started researching, because at this point I have all my prereqs done for nursing school. So at this point, even though I can't transfer into UNF's because I've passed the max credit threshold. Even though it's a separate program, it's still a change of major. So I couldn't change my major and I couldn't get into the program because I had already had too many credits. So basically, I was like, okay, well, I need to make a decision, because I didn't feel like it would be beneficial to me to stay there for a public health science degree and then go right back to school for a nursing degree. To me, it just didn't make sense, because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, in that year that I'm fulfilling my public health degree at UNF, I could also be fulfilling my nursing degree, even if it's only an associate's. So that brings me to the next part. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna transfer out. So I leave UNF and I'm doing research while I'm still taking classes at UNF, because I know the next semester, I don't want to take no semesters off. I know what I want to do now. I need to get the ball rolling, and I need to hurry up and jumpstart my career, because at this point, I'm already behind the curve, technically, because I came out of school with the AA degree. I should have already been graduated. So I get a job as a CNA at Baptist. Loved it. Immediately knew this is what I wanted to do. It helped to kind of solidify my choice as I want to be a nurse. So I was grateful for that. It opened my eyes a lot. It helped me get a taste of what I would be doing and to make sure I would like it. So at the same time that I get the job at Baptist, I start in nursing school. So the reason I didn't go to FSCJ or JU is because I would have had to wait a semester to get into the FSCJ program and the JU program because of how the application deadlines are. But at Concorde, they're basically, because it's a for-profit school, they basically take admission year-round. So I left fall 18, January, basically after the winter break of 2018 is when I started at Concorde. I chose Concorde because it was an accelerated ASN program. Yes, it was only ASN, but I would have been able to graduate in that year that I wanted to, a year and some change. So I started in January at Concorde. And just because it's a for-profit school or it's a trade school or it's only a 2-year program, don't think that it's any easier, because you still have to take your HESI. Concorde requires HESI. A lot of schools either require HESI or TEAS. I think some schools require ATI. Fellow nursing students, if you are watching, you can correct me in the comments. But Concorde, you needed a HESI entrance exam to qualify. So I took my HESI, was kind of nervous about it, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I got to do what I got to do at this point. I didn't really have any time to study for it. Some people prepare for it a lot. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So I needed a 75% or 80%. I think it was 75. I needed a 75% to even be accepted into the program. They already had all my transcripts. They said I was a good candidate. My GPA was good leaving UNF. And I had fulfilled all my requirements except microbiology. So that was the one I needed. So they was like, we'll still accept you. You can take micro with these other courses that you need. Because at Concorde, I had all of my credits except for micro. So that's 3 credit hours that I needed. But because I had came in with so many credits, they only accept 17 or 23 or 17, something like that. I came in with more than 17 because I had all my prereqs done except for the micro. So I ended up they was like, we'll let you in, but you need to retake 1 or 2 of the ones that you had already completed because we only accept a certain amount of credits. I don't know why. I don't agree with it, but I took it anyway. You know what? I was like, I'm just ready to get this done. So I retook some communications course and some psych course. It was like, you don't want to retake AMP2? I'm like, nope. I don't want to take that. I already took it. You got the A for that. I'm not retaking that class. Bump it. I earned my grades for that. So I retook 2 easy ones and then I took micro on top of it. So that I started January 22nd, 2019. That's the day I started nursing school. That was my first official day. And because I had came in with so many credits, they do what's called an expended start. So technically the cohort that I graduated with started ever since October of 2018. So I came in January because I didn't need all those other general ed courses. Or maybe they started in September. I didn't need the general ed courses that everybody else was taking because I already had them done. Started in January. I ended up making a 89% on my HESI. If anybody is worried about the HESI, if any nursing students are watching this and they're saying, oh, the HESI seems like it's gonna be so difficult. Honestly, if you look up practice questions prior to, there's also a HESI book that you can buy, a HESI prep book that's specifically geared towards helping you study for the entrance exam for nursing school students or for nursing schools, then I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have bad test anxiety. My situation, I was like, you know what? Let me take this test. You get 2 times to take it at Concorde and they pay for it. So I wasn't losing any money. I wasn't really taking a huge risk. Only risk I was taking is if I fail, I got to take it again. If I fail again, I ain't get a nursing school. I knew that wasn't gonna be an option for me because I wasn't too worried about it. But yeah, so I got 89%. I was like, woo, I'm going to nursing school, yada, yada, yada. So I get in, and because I had already had all the credits, I started in January, and my graduation date was May. So it took me, a year and 4 months? February, March, April, May. Yeah, I had to count. So that was that. That's how I ended up at Concorde. It wasn't because I flunked out of UNF or anything like that. It was just because I couldn't make up my mind. And the reality of that is that happens to a lot of people. Do I regret not being able to make up my mind faster? Of course. I've always been a student that's trying to be ahead of the curve. So going into Lee, getting my AA degree 2 years earlier than other people, I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm knocking 2 years off my time. Only to kind of be set back a little bit, because at this point, I should have had a bachelor's degree, technically, since it's been 4 years from 2016, I should have at least had a bachelor's. But I take everything in stride. At least I know now what I want to do. I'm happy with my career choice. I'm waking up every morning once I start my job, like, yes, I'm ready to go. And I love it. I even love being a CNA. So that whole experience, I don't regret it at all, because I met some amazing people at Concorde. I met amazing people in the clinicals I would do. I made some great connections as a CNA with just them knowing I'm a nursing student. A lot of my patients were really supportive of me, and they were really, really nice. So my professors were super nice. I still go back to the school, and it's nothing but love. That's the one thing I like about Concorde, because it's a smaller school, even though it's a for-profit school. The class sizes are still relatively small. I think my biggest nursing class was 27 students, which is pretty ideal. You don't want a nursing class with 50, 60 students. I mean, at that point for me, it wouldn't be conducive to learn. It would make it quite difficult, especially with the material already being difficult itself. So I don't regret any of my choices I made. I just regret not getting there fast enough. But it is what it is. Everybody takes their different path. So to all the nursing students watching this, or even if you're watching this and you're like, dang, this is me. Like, I need to figure out what I want to do. Take your time. I know it feels like time is moving way too fast, but just a year ago, I was like, I'm still in school. I ain't graduated yet. I ain't got nothing to show for it yet. I would call my best friends and I'd be like, dog, I feel like, at times I felt like a failure. I'm gonna be honest, because it just felt like nothing was moving and I was way behind the curve, and I felt like all the stuff I did in high school, I should have been pumping out these degrees by now, you know? But life has a way of taking you on a different turn. So really quick, guys, I just wanted to tell the story of what happened to me prior to going into nursing school. So this is a bit of a heavy story. It's been a couple years now, but this is what really, to answer some of the questions under my comments under the YouTube video, this is what really motivated me. So this was a Sunday evening. We had just got in from church about an hour or two ago. And this was actually Christmas Eve. So 2017, Christmas Eve, December 24th. I never forget it. We had just eaten, and usually our routine is we come in from church, we eat dinner, and we're going to take a nap. You know, food give black folks the itis. So I'm in my room laying down, and I remember my mom not going to sleep. And I'm like, Mom, you not tired? You always go take a nap after church. Especially after we had already eaten a big meal. And she was like, no, I'm just chilling. I'm just laying down on the couch. She never went to sleep, y'all. So I never went to sleep either, which is funny because I always go to sleep. Anybody know me? I love to sleep. So I remember sitting on my bed. My room is at the front of the house. So it's actually right behind this wall. We're at the front of the house. And I have a window where I can see like the road and everything. And we live in a nice subdivision. So it was weird that this happened in this neighborhood because nothing like this has ever happened since, and nothing like this ever happened before. So it's really weird, but everything happens for a reason. So she's laying on the couch. I'm laying in my bed in my room, playing on my phone, just relaxing. All of a sudden, I hear pop, 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 pop. I'm like, okay, I know tomorrow's Christmas, but it's still broad daylight, y'all. Y'all a little early on the fireworks, you know. So I look out the window and I didn't really see much because there's kind of a tree blocking my field of view in front of my window. So I'm like, it sounds like fireworks, but it also sounds like it could be gunshots. So like 30 seconds later, my mom opens the front door. And this lady, all I remember, I don't even know what broke my heart more, but all I heard her say was, oh my God, the baby got shot. Oh my God, he got shot, y'all. Y'all, he got shot. And the amount of emotion that ran through my body when I heard her say that, to this day, it gave me chills just now, just repeating it. Because like I said, nothing like this ever happened in my neighborhood before that, and nothing has ever happened like this ever since. And nothing like this has ever happened to me, period, you know? So, only thing I remember is I jumped up. And because I heard he had a gunshot wound, I was like, okay, let me just grab something to try to hold pressure on the wound, right? So I grabbed a t-shirt that I was wearing under my dress clothes. I was like, let me grab my t-shirt. And I'm running after my mom because to know my mom, she's super passionate about kids. She's just passionate about people, period. So when something like this happens in front of our house, like literally it happened right in front of our house, of course her instinct is going to be to run and try to help and pray, of course. So all I remember is grabbing my t-shirt, hopping off the bed. I think I had some gym shorts on. Rush to put on my shirt so I don't go outside half naked and book it, trying to get to her because at this point the gunshots had just happened. So in my mind, yes, I need to grab something to help him stop the bleeding so we can try to save his life. But I also need to make sure that my mom isn't going out there in the middle of a gun war, you know, like bullets still fly and they don't have a name on them. They just hit what they hit. So I'm like, okay, lady, like, I know you want to help, but this could have went worse if you would have been in the crossfire. So we run across the street. And all I remember seeing is we both hopped down and helped him. At the time, we were the first ones on the scene. I grabbed a t-shirt and I hold it to his gun wound. And my mom starts praying, and then a whole bunch of people come. So what was really sad is, no, he didn't make it, unfortunately. May he rest in peace. But what was sad was that because of the neighborhood we live in, there's a train that literally cuts us off from the rest of civilization, I was going to say. Like, we can't get out of our side of the neighborhood without crossing this train track. Even if we go down the street, we still got to cross that train track somewhere, somehow. So there was a train on the tracks blocking the ambulance. And even if we would have picked him up, which I didn't recommend at the time because we don't know where that bullet was and we don't know where it could have moved to, we couldn't have put him in the car and taken him. Why? Because we would have been blocked off. So long story short, when the ambulance got there, unfortunately, he was already dead. So looking back, that was when I knew I wanted to be a nurse, because just being on the scene and just doing simple things like holding the shirt to stop the bleeding is really what opened my eyes. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. Because even though it was a nerve-wracking experience, in the moment, my adrenaline took over. So it's like, even though I had no experience, at this point I wasn't a CNA, I didn't have my BLS, I wasn't in nursing school, it was nothing. So all this happened in December, so prior to me going to nursing school in January. Actually, a year later, because this was 2017. So it was all really surreal. But I remember coming in the house, of course my mom was boohoo crying because she just witnessed a kid who was the same age as me be gunned down right in front of our house on Christmas Eve. Like, it couldn't have got much more weirder than that, but I'm glad we were able to be there to at least comfort him in his transition. It was just really heartbreaking. By the time the ambulance got there, they tried to, put on a show just to say, hey, we tried. But even then, in hindsight, looking back, they didn't do as good as they could have. Like, if you were gonna do anything to try to console the family that was out there, you could have tried way harder. But that was the story that really pushed me to want to be a nurse. And as you'll see later on in the videos, when I announce where I'll be working at, you will kind of see why I chose that track, just because of this story. And it was really heartbreaking. We thought Christmas was gonna be ruined, because seeing something like that traumatic the day before Christmas it still lives with me. I wouldn't say it haunts me at all. No, it doesn't do that. But it makes me be grateful and take a lot of things into consideration. So that was that. I had some other questions I wanted to answer, but I kind of saved those for another video because they kind of touch on my job, where I'll be working, and I kind of want to wait and announce that after I pass my NCLEX and everything. But to come, we're going to be, some more content is coming. I'm going to be uploading my NCLEX study schedule. I'm going to start vlogging that, because that's going to start pretty soon. I'm going to also vlog some job interview tips and how I landed my first job, how I prepped for the interview, and how I conducted myself throughout the interview, because that's really important. Interview tips and interview prep is super important, because generally you have hundreds of other nursing students fighting for the same spot that you're wanting. And for me, I got a really competitive spot to come soon. I'm not gonna announce it yet, but I had to make sure that I set myself apart so that I could get the spot on the floor that I wanted. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this video inspiring. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, turn on your post notifications. We got a lot more content coming soon. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram, my Twitter, all that'll be down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Love y'all.